So you see the title on this piece is Melamed Shalosh Shana, and that's taken from Rashi in this week's parshat. And it's the parsha is called Behalotcha Tanerot, when you are going to be lighting the candles. So Hashem is giving instructions to Aaron and Kohen as to how the candles should be lit. And then it says, Vayas Kena Haron. This is Aaron did as he was told. So everybody's asking the question, and what did you expect him to do? What did you expect him to do? Differently? Right? Hashem tells him to do like this. Of course he's going to do like that. So why does the Torah have to write Vayas Kena Haron? So there are a number of answers. Rashi answers simply, Lagid Shvacho Shel Aaron, to praise Aaron Shelo Shina, that he didn't do it any differently. So the question remains, okay, so what's the big praise? Like, I mean, like if Mrs. Rosenberg told Moshe, go to the store and bring back a bottle of milk, and Moshe brought back a bottle of milk instead of Coca-Cola, that might be like, oh wow, so awesome, like, he actually listened to his mother. Okay, but if God tells you to do something and you did it, right?
The opposite of other times he doesn't listen.
Right? Right. So Aaron Cohen, of course, he's going to do what he's. So what's Rashi saying? So that,
Can you say no?
To who? To God?
Yes.
Yeah, you could, right? you want to risk your life? I mean, but no, but it's not saying that. It's not. The Torah isn't praising him that he did the mitzvah. The Torah is praising him that he didn't make any changes in it. And in a certain sense, like, it's really special. Like, you're doing a mitzvah day in, day out for almost 40 years. It's quite an achievement that you can do it every day with the same concentration and with the same love as always, right? As like the first day is Tuesday. Do we have another book here? So the page 56. Okay, so the thing is like this. Let me ask you a question. If you were the high priest, where would you be spending most of your day? In the temple, in the street? Where would you be most of the time? Asking you too.
In the temple, except that Aaron likes to go out with
Okay, so this is what Reb Shlomo was getting into. Okay, page 56. So says Reb Shlomo, and he starts off sort of like this tongue-in-cheek. He says, "Kasher choshvim al Kohen Hagadol." When we think about the high priest, we surely imagine him mitiyashev lo al kusa b'beit hamikdash, that is sitting on some nice pillow in the temple. Mistakel al hasha'on, looking at the clock, umitkonen lakriv et korban hatamid shel shacharit, and getting ready to bring the morning sacrifice. ומצלצל בפעמון, או אולי מדווח בקשר, מביאים לו את הקורבן, so he rings the bell or whatever it is, and they bring him the animal for the sacrifice. ולאחר שהקריב את הקורבן, and after he's done the sacrifice, הוא כבר עייף, he's a little bit tired, אולי הוא מניח תפילין דרבנו תם, maybe he's putting on the second pair of tefillin, ומחכה שיביאו לו את התמיד של בין הערביים, and is waiting for the afternoon sacrifice that he's going to be offering. אבל האמת היא אחרת, but the truth is different. מה כתוב על אהרון הכהן? What does it say about Aaron הכהן? אהרון היה מסתובב ברחובות, Aaron הכהן was walking in the streets, מדבר ועוזר לכל אחד, and he was talking and helping everybody. הוא היה יוצא מביתו מוקדם בבוקר, he leave his house early in the morning, ורואה את ינקלה עצוב, and he saw that Yankele was sad. ינקלה אמר לו שהוא רב עם אשתו, Yankele told him that he had a fight with his wife. Aaron היה הולך לאשתו לאה ואומר לה, and he would go to Leah and he would tell her, Aaron would tell her, את יודעת כמה Yankele שבול? You know how broken Yankele is, how bad he feels. והם היו עושים שלום ביניהם, and they would make peace. Okay, now that itself is a whole lesson. Like, you know, it's right. The Mishnah says, Hillel says, be a student of Aaron HaKohen, and what does that mean to be a student of Aaron HaKohen? Ohev Shalom, to love peace, and Ohev et Abriot, to love people, to Rodef Shalom, and to pursue peace, Ohev et Abriot, to love the people, and the Karban la Torah, and he would bring them close to the Torah. And the commentaries explained that when he would see two people that had a fight, whether husband and wife or two friends or whatever, he'd go to each one and he'd say, you know, your friend feels so terrible that they had a fight. Now, what's the secret depth of that? We'll hopefully get to that. If I don't get to that by the end of the lesson, you'll tell me, okay? So she says, "Ani batuach," and this is very cute. "Ani batuach she'Aaron HaKohen haya ma'acher kemat kol yom להקרבת הקורבן." Shlomo says, "I'm sure that Aaron HaKohen must have been a little bit late every day when bringing the sacrifice because he was so busy with the people. בגלל שהוא היה מתעסק בעשיית שלום בין אנשים, because he was busy making peace between people." And here, this sentence is worth memorizing. אותם שפתיים קדושות, those same holy lips, שהיו מוציאים את שם השם המפורש ביום הכיפורים, that would utter the explicit divine name on Yom Kippur, היו עושות שלום בין אנשים. These very same lips were busy making peace between people. In other words, what he's saying is that it's very amazingly holy to be in the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur and to pronounce the divine name. But you know the meaning of that? The meaning of that is that if you say God's name, it means that if you see two people not getting along, it's really touches you deeply, and you go and you do everything that you can to help them make peace. If you could say God's name and you could walk by two people who are having a fight and you don't care, then saying Hashem's name doesn't really mean very much. Okay? Now, Lumat Aaron, in distinction to Aaron, Yeshet Korach. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be reading parshat Korach. Korach leads a whole big rebellion against Moshe and Aaron. Korach was a very holy man, but he ended up leading this rebellion and dying in the end. So Korach היה מסתובב ברחוב עם שני גבאים בעיניים סגורות. So Reb Shlomo is describing Korach as this very holy man that's walking in the street with two assistants, keeping his eyes closed. הוא היה נראה כמו אדמו"ר, he looked like a big holy Rebbe. הוא מדבר רק עם אדמו"רים, and he would only talk with other rabbis. ואפילו אז היה עם עיניים סגורות למחצה, and even then he would keep his eyes half shut. העבודה של אהרון הכהן היה עם בני אדם. The work that Aaron Cohen was doing primarily was with people. לא היה מפתיע אותי, I wouldn't be surprised אם הוא היה מסתובב ממש כעמך, if he would be walking in the street looking like everybody else. הוא מדבר כך עם אנשים ברחוב and talking with people in the street. Page 57. כאשר אתה מסתכל מבחוץ, so when you're looking from outside, superficially, אתה חושב שקורח הוא הקדוש. So just sort of visualize this, like, you see Korach in the crowd, and you see Aaron in the crowd. Korach is walking, but it looks like a holy Rebbe. And Aaron the Kohen, you would have a hard time picking him out because he's walking around in a bike shirt, okay? And you might think that like is it very holy? Is it holy to hang around with the masses, like Aaron the Kohen was doing? Elama, but what's the true reality? That is the real holiness. What do you think God is doing? You think God is sitting in heaven and sending notes down to earth? All the world is filled with His glory. God is everywhere. So says Reb Shlomo, what I'm going to tell you now is, it's not my own personal new insight. The following teaching is from the Reb Shlomo, pasuk b'Tehillim, on a verse in Psalms, it says, "Vayikanu leMoshe b'machaneh," they were jealous of Moshe in the camp. L'Aaron kadosh Hashem, and they were jealous of Aaron, the Holy One to God. So it says the Reb Shlomo, Moshe Rabbeinu batzmo haya yoshev b'misrad. Moshe Rabbeinu would be sitting in his office, so to speak. B'machaneh, in the camp, meaning to say, Korach would come to him, and Ba'amarlo, and he said to him, Heize min manhigata, what kind of a leader are you? Medaberim Hashem levad b'machaneh, you're speaking with God alone in the midst of the camp, v'lo yored el ha'am, and you're not going out to hang out with the people. V'la'aron hu amar, but to Aaron he would say, Lama ata mistavei b'rechovot, why are you walking in the streets? Kadosh Hashem, ata amur liot kadosh, you're supposed to be a holy person, you're supposed to be in the temple. Now you should know that in general, like whenever you're doing something good, whatever it is, when Hashem is testing you, there's going to be a voice that's going to come and tell you that you should be doing the exact opposite of what you're actually doing. Understand? So Moshe Rabbeinu is a leader, and he's bringing down the Torah. So he's really spending most of his time next to the tent of meeting, next to the Almayit. Aaron the Kohen is the one who's doing the services. So he's spending this time in the streets with the people. So Korach is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, you should be out there in the streets. And he's saying to Aaron, you shouldn't be in the streets, you should be in the temple. Okay? So what's the real point? The real point is this. The truthful point is this. Moshe Rabbeinu ve'Aaron haKohanim hayu shutafim. Moshe and his brother Aaron the Kohen, they were partners. Moshe Rabbeinu diber im Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who would be in conversation with God. Aaron HaKohen diber im ha'am, and Aaron the Kohen would be in conversation with the people. And as we say in the Tehillim, and we say it Friday night, and we sing it, Moshe v'Aaron bechohanav. Moshe and Aaron together are Hashem's servants. They reach such awesome holiness together. The truth is, on a non-messianic level, without messianic eyes, Korach haya be'emet kadosh. In other words, superficially, Korach looks like a very, very holy person. Kol kach kadosh, he's so holy, that when he's walking in the streets with his assistants, he doesn't even open his eyes, because he's afraid he might see something not holy. All the broken-hearted Jews are walking past him, and he doesn't pay any attention to them, because he's so busy keeping his eyes protected from seeing anything unholy. So he's protecting the holiness of the eyes. Now, Kiddushat ha'inayim, or Shmirat ha'inayim, guarding your eyes, is a very, very important thing. The fact of the matter is that, after all the movies and television that we've seen, and there's a lot of immodesty around, and when we look at things immodestly, you cannot escape the fact that your soul is living in a body, and that the body is wired in certain ways. You see things and you start to desire them. Okay, and so Shmirat ha'inayim is, to learn to guard your eyes to see what you're supposed to see and not to see what you're not supposed to see. Okay. Now, in the traditional yeshivas, right, you were told, don't look at the girls, right? And there is good reason for that, but the real lesson, which is a much more difficult lesson, is that to be able to look at a girl and look at the person rather than look at what does she look like, okay? And this is not easy, because the culture that we've grown up in is telling us to do the exact opposite, right? All the advertising and everything, and the girls are, despite all the feminism, walk down 40 seconds, for Times Square, and see the advertising that tells the girls how they should dress. That tells them how they should get dressed. They're basically being told to get dressed in a way. Okay, get dressed in such a way that you're going to be, that you're going to be a sex symbol or something like that. Like guys and girls are being told that all the time. So protecting the eyes, the fact is that the ability to see deeply gets damaged when we look at things that we're not supposed to look, and in ways that we're not supposed to look. It actually damages our eyes. Yeah.
I think it's worse than that. I think it damages our soul.
Well, that's what I mean by seeing.
And I think it's even more severe than you described.
When I say seeing deeply, I'm talking about the ability of the soul to see.
It's liminal and it's subliminal. We don't even know the messages. But we're being fed into all brainwashing.
Yes,
From
it is.
Early childhood. Anyone
Yes, it is. Yes.
Or even
Okay, let's not belabor the point, because I want to cover this whole lesson in this shir. Okay. So superficially, it looks like Korach is the Holy One, right? So it says Reb Shlomo, for the first last line on 57, know that this is not the real holiness. However, in a non-Mashiach conscious world, in a superficial world, that's what's called holiness. So, he says, Katuv Bazohar HaKadosh, it says in the Holy Zohar, Shekorach Chalak al Shabbat, that Korach Zohar says that Korach was rebelling against Shabbos. Now, what is that supposed to mean? Haim Korach lo shamar et Shabbat Kodesh? Did Korach not keep the holy Shabbos? And the Batuach Shehu Dikdek argued.
Where are we?
Last line on the page.
Ah.
Fourth word. אני בטוח שהוא דקדק בהלכות שבת כחוט השערה. I'm sure that Korach kept the laws of Shabbos to a hair's breadth. Elama, so what does the Zohar mean that he argued against Shabbos? הוא חלק על כל העולם הפנימי. He was fighting against the inner world. כי בשבילו השבת נראית כמו יום הראשון. For him, Shabbos looked like Sunday, meaning to say there are certain things that you do on Yom Rishon, and there are certain things that you do on Shabbos. Understand? It's okay. So Shabbos is like, it's got more laws, more restrictions, etc., but it's just like one of the days of the week. Understand? And what the Zohar is saying is that kasher, Reb Shlomo explains. Kasher, third line. Kasher yesh lecha einayim chitzoniyot, when you have superficial vision. Hashabbat nireit kemo yom rishon. Shabbos looks like Sunday. Kasher yesh lecha einay Shabbat, but when you have Shabbos eyes, ha'olam nira legamrei acheret. Then the world looks altogether different. HaKadosh Baruch Hu omer lanu, God is telling us, shehashe'elah hi lo. The question is not Ha'im livchor ben Aaron leKorach. The question is not to choose, are you going to choose Aaron or are you going to choose Korach? But rather, Hashe'elahi, the real question is, Ha'im hakol pnimi or chitzani? Is everything deep or just superficial? Kasher hameraglim higiu le'eretz Yisrael, when the spies, which we're going to read next week, came to Israel, Hem hotziu aleha diba. They spoke badly about Israel. They had the same problem like Korach. They were looking at Israel with superficial eyes. And Reb Shlomo explains what that means. The person can come to Yerushalayim and just see the superficiality of it. Kama batim, how many houses there are, kama avanim, how many stones there are, kama pachei ashpa, how many garbage cans there are, umahu hakotel amaravi b'shvilo, and what is the western wall for him? Im lo od kama avanim, just some more stones. Ma kein motzei chen be'einav, what does he get impressed with? What does he like? Binyanim habnuyim letiferet, he likes nice looking modern buildings. Malon Chadash b'Yerushalayim and Brechas Chiyah b'Fnim. He's impressed with a new hotel that has an indoor swimming pool. Right? That's all superficial eyes. But kasher yesh lecha einayim chitzoniyot. So kasher yesh lecha einayim chitzoniyot, when you have superficial eyes, אתה לא רואה כלום, you don't see anything. אם יש לך עיניים פנימיות, but if you have deeper vision, גבלת אתה רואה את הכל, you see everything. כאשר אהרון הכהן, this is a very important point here, when Aaron הכהן ראה את הבעל העבירה הכי גדול, when he would see the biggest sinner, אתם חושבים שהוא היה אומר לו כמה הוא גרוע? Do you think that Aaron הכהן would tell this person, you're so terrible? Of course not. אלא שהבעל העבירה, so what did happen? שהבעל העבירה היה נהיה פתאום ליהודי פנימי בנוכחותו. In the presence of Aaron the Kohen, even the biggest sinner would, as long as they weren't shutting the door on it, even the biggest sinner would all of a sudden become aware of his deeper essence, of what he's really like, that he really does have a neshama, despite all the things that he may have done, you know. בליבו, הפנימיות התחילה להאיר החוצה, and his inner dimension will start illuminating outward, right? And that's when when Aaron Cohen was making peace between people, and he'd go to each one and he'd say, your friend really feels terrible that he had a fight with you. He wasn't just saying that. In other words, after he would speak to somebody and the person in Aaron's presence would get in touch with his real essence. In other words, let's say, for example, I don't imagine any of you ever had a fight with anybody.
You're seeing the Shabbos eyes.
Okay? But did you ever have the experience, if you would have ever had a fight with anybody, and then you would sit down afterwards for a few minutes and calm down and get in touch with your neshama. You know what would happen? You would start feeling, what a stupid thing. Maybe you got a point, maybe you have a reason, maybe you got an opinion, but so stupid to lose my anger, to lose my temper. Because when you lose your temper, what happens to the Shekhinah? The Shekhinah just goes zoop and takes off. Won't stay with you during that time. Okay? And what a stupid thing is not really me. Right? And when you're really in touch with your real essence, you really feel that. You really feel that, what did I do? Why did I do that? Okay?
Can I ask a question?
You can, and
you
may. No, and you may. I might not answer you right now.
Okay. So if this is true that Aaron can have this effect on people on her own, what happened to the golden calf? What happened to his influence there?
There are times that, like I said, the person that you're working with has to be open to it. You know that.
So it was mob mentality. Okay.
There's all kinds of things going on, right? But there are times that you can't do it. There are times that a tzaddik could look at you, and just by looking at you, you feel like you want to do tshuva. And there are times when 10 tzaddikim might be encountering you, but you might just be so stuck in your anger, or you're so stuck that you're just not open to it.
You're stuck in fear too. Okay.
Or fear, or whatever it is, right? But when you work with people, the first thing that you do is you try to open them up to what you're going to do, right? Now, Aaron Cohen, yeah, okay. So the Moshe Rabbeinu in this week's parshat says to God, why did you give me this job that I'm not so very good at? The people are rebelling, and if you're why don't, I'd rather that you kill me. It's in this week's parshat, it's a very strange passage. But Moshe Rabbeinu is the greatest leader of all time, and there he is feeling like I'm doing a terrible job, and the people are rebelling.
Yes, God to kill.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Okay. He didn't quite ask him that. He says, if there isn't going to be some kind of a change, then I'd rather that you kill me, right? So that's when God gives him the 70 elders.
Even Moshe and Aaron are real people. They're not gods.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so he says like this, last paragraph on 58. בפרשת בהעלותך, אחרי שהקדוש ברוך הוא מצווה על אהרון הכהן להאיר את הנרות, in this week's parsha, after Hashem tells Aaron, gives Aaron the mitzvah of illuminating the candles, כתוב ויעש כן אהרון, it says Aaron did as he was instructed to. ורש"י כותב שם בפירושו, and Rashi writes, מלמד שלא שינה. This teaches us that Aaron HaKohen didn't change anything. כל המפרשים שואלים, so all the commentators ask, למה הייתה סברה לומר שאהרון הכהן ישנה במשהו מהציווי של השם? Why would you think that Aaron was going to do something differently? כולם עונים תשובות, they all offer answers, וגם לי יש תשובה שלי, and I have an answer of my own, and this is what it is. Page 59. איך עולם התורה ניגש היום ליהודי שלא שומר שבת? How does the Torah world today, and of course not everybody, but How does the Torah world in general approach a Jew that isn't keeping mitzvahs? Amrim lo, they say to him, Tirei achi, listen, my brother, ata chayav lishtanot, you have to change. Histakel kama mechorav ata, look at how ugly you are. Eich ata nirah, look at what you look like. Aval eich Aaron HaKohen haya nigash liyehudi, but how would Aaron HaKohen approach a Jew? Hu haya melamed, he would teach him באופן שלא שינה, in a manner of not changing him. הוא לא רצה שיהודי ישתנה כלל. He didn't want the Jew to change at all. אלא שברגע שהיהודי היה פוגש את אהרון הכהן, but what happened was that at the moment that he met Aaron הכהן, אש הייתה בוערת לו מבפנים. This fire started burning inside his being. Right? In other words, Aaron the Kohen basically didn't try to change the person, he just helped the person get back in touch with his real essence. הבעיה של יהודי היא לא הוא בעצמו. The problem of a Jew is not he himself, אלא רק שהוא לא פנימי. The problems, all the stupid things that we do and so on, it's because we're not in touch with our inner essence. לא צריך להשתנות כלל, you don't have to change. כל יהודי הוא קודש, every Jew is holy. הוא רק צריך להיות קצת יותר פנימי. But everyone needs to learn how to be more focused to their inner essence. ללמוד איך לאהוב אנשים זה לא דבר חיצוני. To learn how to love people is not something superficial. השאלה היא, האם אתה רואה שכולם נבראו בצלם אלוקים? The deep question is, do you see that everybody is created in the image of God? האם אתה רואה כמה אנשים הם באמת עמוקים? Do you see how deep people really are? כמה החיים עמוקים? Do you see how deep life is? מה אתה רואה? What do you see? מה אתה מרגיש? What are you feeling? האם אתה פנימי או חיצוני? Are you inner or outer? Are you inner or superficial? Right? אחרי פרשת המרגלים אנחנו ממש שחורים. After next week's parsha about the spies, we're ממש broken. כי הסתכלנו על ארץ ישראל בעיניים חיצוניות. Because we were looking at Israel with superficial eyes. So הקדוש ברוך הוא אמר אז למשה רבנו, סוגס את משה רבנו, אני מצטער, I'm sorry, but אני לא יכול לתת להם את ארץ ישראל. I cannot give Israel to these people. כי היא לא בשביל אנשים חיצוניים, because Israel is not a country for people with superficial eyes. ולא שהמרגלים לא היו קדושים. It's not that the spies were not holy. אלא שהם לא היו מספיק פנימיים. The problem was that they were not connected deeply enough to their deep essence. ובתחילת פרשת קורח, הקדוש ברוך הוא מלמד אותנו להיות פנימיים. And the beginning of פרשת קורח, God is starting to teach us how to be more inner, how to be in touch, how to be more connected to your inner essence. Huh?
What is it teaching us in the beginning?
We'll get there in musician. Okay, so now the whole, it can be said that that Aaron the Kohen lighting the menorah is symbolic of igniting the souls of Israel. Understand? He's lighting the menorah in the Mishkan, right? But God doesn't need a menorah. Okay. The light is not so that because it was dark in the room and right? Sorry, sometimes it just hits me and I can't stop it.
That time.
Huh?
It's about that
It's
time.
about that time, but it's not always exact. It's not. It's not always exactly at the same time. Anyway, so according to the Medrash, the one object, the one vessel of the Mishkan that was not made by man was the menorah. Says that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu how to make the menorah, and so he made it. So the rabbis interpret who made it, the one who made it. Who's the one who made it? Hashem. And that when Hashem gave Moshe Rabbeinu instructions on how to make the menorah, he was having a hard time visualizing it. So Hashem showed him an image of the menorah in fire. Moshe Rabbeinu still said, I can't make it. I don't know, we can't do it. So Hashem said, okay, throw the gold into the fire. And God made the menorah. So what that represents is that there were 10 service vessels in the Mishkan, and these 10 correspond to the 10 utterances of creation. And what the menorah corresponds to, it corresponds to the first of the 10 utterances, which is the word Bereshit. Now, it doesn't say Vayomer Elokim Bereshit. It's right when the rabbis say that the world was created with 10 utterances. So if you look and read carefully in the entire chapter of creation, you'll find that it says 9 times Vayomer Elokim, God said, let there be. Right? So what's the 10th utterance? The 10th utterance is the word Bereshit itself. But it's referred to by Reb Nachman as Ma'amad Satum, the unspoken utterance. And what is that supposed to mean? So what that basically means is that we make mistakes and we got to know that we've got to fix them, right? But in worldly eyes, the Sahara says, you messed up. You're never going to be able to fix it, right? It's reality. It's some things can be put back together, right? But many things cannot be put back together. You told a lie, you've caused a serious damage to your soul. Okay? Who says that you're going to be able to fix it? You know, the Torah says. Where's that coming from? It's coming from getting back in touch with your neshama. It's coming from the lighting of the menorah. The lighting of the menorah is to get everybody back in touch with their souls. Why is Hanukkah, to this very day, so popular throughout all of Israel, more than almost any other holiday? You know, this woman that we used to know, she was elderly, she's no longer alive. She told me that back in Montreal, that a grandchild of hers, back in the 50s or 60s, was going to Jewish school, and this girl was a quadriplegic. I mean, that's the right word, but she was basically confined to a wheelchair. And in those days, they didn't have the laws yet about that all public buildings have to have public access ramps. So it was a real issue. Every time that she would come to school, there would have to be some people who would pick her up with a wheelchair and take her up the stairs, and then at the end of the day, bring her down. So when this girl finished high school and she was looking to go to university, so she was looking for a university where she would have easy access with her wheelchair. And she found this campus in Ontario where all the buildings were just like one level, ground level buildings. So she went to this school. Now, she didn't grow up religious. I never met her. And obviously, a campus somewhere in the wilds of Ontario is not the kind of place that you're going to find a kosher falafel, so to speak, okay? But that wasn't her issue. So came December, and the place is getting decorated, you know, and the poinsettias, the greens and the reds, all the Santa Clauses all over the place and so on. And she was feeling like, okay, I'm not religious, but I'm a Jew. And so she took a piece of yellow construction paper and she cut out, because Hanukkah usually comes around that time too. She cut out a menorah and stuck it on the door of her dormitory room. Less than 5 minutes go by. There's a knock on the door. She opens up, and this other girl is standing there. She says, "You too? Me too. Right? You're Jewish? I'm also Jewish. Well, come on in." A couple more minutes go by. There's another knock on the door. There's another knock on the door. And all of a sudden, in a matter of a few minutes, her room was filled with all these Jewish kids that every one of them thought that they were the only Jew on campus. Okay? And they somehow, and what brought them all together was that little symbol of the menorah that she cut out in yellow construction paper. Okay? You were here Hanukkah time, right? You weren't here Hanukkah yet?
When was that? That was November?
It was the end of, November, December. You weren't here
I
yet?
was in Nepal.
You were in Nepal. But you walk around here and you'll see Hanukkah next year, you'll see Israelis, religious, not religious, like they're all walking around like they love the menorah. What's the symbol of the state of Israel? A menorah. Why? Because the menorah is relating to your soul, right? Kinei mitzvah v'torah or. Each mitzvah is a candle, and the Torah is light. Neir Hashem, the candle of God. Nishmat Adam is the soul of man, right? So the work of Aaron HaKohen is really, he puts the sacrifices on the altar, right? But the deeper work is to illuminate the souls of the people.
What does it mean? Because he steps up. It's Ole, right?
Well, Well,
To light the candle, because it didn't really. Just says.
the Haggadah. So Rashi brings two commentaries there, right?
Yeah.
One is that there was a little pedestal there with 3 stairs, right? And the other one is that the way he lit the candles is that he, so to speak, like, if you light a match and you hold it above the wick of the candle without actually touching the wick will catch flame. In the sense that there's one way to get you on fire is that I can take something and ignite you, right? But the other way is to hold my flame near you, and your inner flame will recognize that and be illuminated as a result. Okay? And that's what Aaron HaKohen was doing, right? So when he went and made peace between people, it wasn't the kindergarten manual that he was reading, like, Yankel is so sorry that he took the Tanka truck, and Leah is so sorry that she took it, It was like he was really getting them in touch with our inner essence. Our inner essence wants to share, not to fight. That's the illumination of the menorah is always the aspect of Bereshit, the beginning, the unspoken utterance, that infinite energy that, yes, I may have messed up, but I can start again.
question because it's been bothering me. It's been with one of the rabbis especially, and it seems like when we were talking about
where she can see against some teeth.
earlier in Lyman or whatever, and he was talking about gay people, and that it's like, and I think the way that he views it, and maybe the spin that he puts on the religious aspect of that is that it's something that should be fixed, or something that is a fundamental like flaw,
It's not the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
that it's not the way that it's supposed to be. And then how, like, if that's the case, or if whether it's the case or not, I don't know. It's not for me to decide. All I know is that.
Okay.
But
So
like, then how how could somebody that is that, how could they find a place within something that is like antithetical to something so fundamental, not fundamental, but something that's so ingrained, and
yeah.
whether it's society or not, like has put
So
an
you have,
emphasis on
you're raising a very serious topic, and I don't know if we can deal with it justly in a matter of 3-4 minutes. But I will say something, okay? First of all, the Torah is basically saying that the act of homosexual intercourse is strictly forbidden.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's say so the argument that in the gay community is, but that's the way they are, that they're not attracted to the opposite sex. I suppose, for example, that's the truth, okay? Which I don't know if it's 100% true, because what happens often is that people think in the ways that are popular at the time. Okay? So right now, it's politically correct to say that. Okay? In your own lifetime, you may have a certain view of something at the age that you're at right now, and in 5 years, you might have a totally different view. Okay? So let's say, and all of us, it's not really, let's say, every one of us has our personal challenges, personally designed by God. Now, I can be challenged with something, and I can throw my hands up and I can say, God, there's no way I'm going to overcome this challenge, and just say I'm not even trying anymore. Okay? Now, there are people that are I'll give you another example. There are men that think that God put them in this world to sleep with as many women as they possibly can. That they're here to conquer all these people, right? And they actually believe that. They think that to be monogamous is something that's impossible for them, right? The Torah still tells them there's relationships that are allowed, there's relationships that are not allowed. Okay? The Torah says brother and sister is not allowed, right? It's possible. It's possible that one day in this politically correct world, somebody might start saying there's nothing wrong with brothers and sisters. Maybe it's anathema to you right now, but in 10 years from now, you don't know. Like, the media might put a spin on it. That's like that. And let's say people think that way. The Torah still remains the Torah. Now, what's really important to realize is we have to have compassion for everybody and whatever struggles they have. Do you know that for some people, not to steal is the biggest challenge in their life?
Yeah.
The biggest challenge in their life. For some people, not to insult people is the biggest challenge in their life. They have no tolerance for anything. What's the word I'm looking for? No, they have no tolerance for anything less than the best. There's a word for
Perfection.
that. They're perfectionists, but they can't tolerate anything less than that. There are people like that, and if they encounter, if they encounter that, they'll put you down. They'll pat you down and say, like, don't even ever speak to me again, type of thing. And for them, that's a huge challenge not to do that.
But that's it.
But
Are you saying that's it for them? That they don't see outside of that, or
yeah, they don't, or maybe they see outside of that, but they just can't imagine themselves, like, mediocrity. They can't take mediocrity. That's the word I was looking for. Okay.
Okay.
Understand? So, but everybody, Hashem has designed my package to be exactly the package that I need to work with. Hashem has designed your package and your package and your package exactly for you. Okay? So, Hashem is not saying to a homosexual living person, don't have a relationship with another man. Hashem is saying, don't have a sexual relationship with them. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of laws, a lot of sexuality laws. So, as a matter of fact, in this week's parshat, in the portion where it speaks about our rebellion, because all we were getting was the manna, right? We wanted meat. So Rashi brings a medrash and explains and says there, and the people were crying with their families. And Rashi brings a medrash that the meat is not only meat, it's a metaphor. They were crying over the fact that now that we got the Torah, we got all these laws of sexuality.
Oh.
There ain't no such thing as free sex anymore as it was in heathenistic Egypt. Okay? You understand? So it's not so pashut, you understand? It's
Yeah.
And right now in the world that we're living in, it's like, the message out there is that if you got to be, there's a new religion, it's called PC, politically correct. You understand? And if you're not politically correct, you're terrible. You understand? So it happens to be that that's the language that the world is speaking today. You don't know what they're going to be speaking in 10 years. I don't either. The Torah is our rock. You understand? So maybe I think, one of the things in this week's parsha is about Lashon Hara. You know how many people think that it's 100% okay to speak Lashon Hara? You know how many people don't really believe that you have to love every one of your brothers and sisters? Right? Okay.
Yeah, you said pretty on the same lines as what he said, only the way he said it was a bit more.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sure that there are things that he can express better than me, and maybe there's some things that I can express better than him. Okay, have a good Shabbos, everybody.
Good job.
All the best.
Thank you.
Sure.